and then Lynn can introduce herself. And I am Sandra Holmes out of South Florida. We are Luxe Home Staging and Design. Lynn and I are business partners in the company, and it's been coming up on 5 years now that we've been doing the business together. Previously, I had a company called Home Staging Concepts. And so together I've been doing staging here for 19 years. I know that sounds like a long time. I don't know if anybody else has been in the business that long, but well, you know, you'll see it because it just kind of ages you a little, you know. we have a team of 10 people that work with us consistently, and then we also have some additional people that we call in to come and help assist when needed, including staging hands, movers, and some additional stagers when we have large properties to do, luxury properties. And I know that's why we're here today, is to talk about luxury properties or getting into luxury properties. And, you know, we love it. And I love the difference that we do for a lot of these builders and that we work with. There are a lot of investors and home builders when we're doing the luxury. And of course, we do have a lot of individual sellers that contact us because, you know, we get referred our business, you know, from them. So what else about me? I've got I'm from Michigan originally, and I've got 2 daughters. Well, one's going to be 40 and the other one will be 38 coming up soon. Don't tell anybody, okay?
Secrets are safe.
We have a multi-award-winning company. We did just win the top luxury vacant home stager of the year through the International Association of Home Staging Professionals. And we are the top 5 in the country through HSRA, which is the Home Staging and Redesign Alliance. And if in case none of you have never met her in the past, there's Lynn and I, right? And we're both accredited master staging professionals and certified trainers of stagedhomes.com, although neither one of us really teach the course anymore. We do have inputs as part executive vice presidents of the company. We're both national speakers, and we've helped to author staging industry books. And here's a little picture of our team, so you can see we've got quite a crew, and we pretty much have had our same people coming up on all 4 years. I think that there's only a couple people that just didn't work out. And do any of the other of you on the call have a large team or people that you're working with right now?
I have a team of 5. So,
okay.
And
I have a team of 2.
Okay. Are any of you doing any luxury home staging?
No.
Not today?
Not today.
I'm just whipping through this little presentation that we do for realtors. Do any of you do presentations for realtors and offices or go speak?
I have, yes.
Anybody else?
Yep, I do.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, so the reason that you guys wanted to have the call today, Lynn said, because she just said, hey, be on the call today at 9 o'clock, and so we can be with the Boston chapter. So as that you all wanted to learn a little bit about luxury and you have some questions for us, but one thing that I want to say is that luxury is a completely different ballgame. And, you know, you either have to have a source to get the inventory to do a luxury home, or, you know, rent it from someone else who has it, or you've got to invest in the right items to actually do a vacant luxury home staging. Now, because most importantly, what you're doing for them is that you're selling a lifestyle, you know, to the potential buyer. We always, you know, say to people all the time, and when we're staging, that, you know, we're not staging for you, the seller, even though you're the one paying us, is that we're staging for the architecture and style of the home, the price range of the home, and of course, who's that potential buyer, who's the demographic buyer. And we have to, and we study that to find out, you know, what we need to do to make that happen. So the homes get sold quickly. Even as an example, well, I don't want to go into that because I want Lynn to introduce herself. Lynn, are you there yet? Don't get it. Lynn. Crazy. Okay. So, one of the things is that, you're selling that lifestyle. To give you an example of this photo that you can see up here on the screen, and then we can go into the questions that you had for us, is that this is an occupied, and it was an occupied home. The people who built it, it was a $22 million home. And we had to invest quite a bit of money for this property because, it's how much inventory can you do when you have one luxury home, then you get the call for the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and it goes on and on. You've got to have inventory to fill up all these big, huge homes. And in this example, the people built the home, they lived there for a month and decided they didn't like it. Imagine having that much money, right? And there were certain things that they just would not do to change in the home. We always say good, better, best. And in this example, you can see that in the picture to the left, in the dining room, which is this huge ornate, kind of an Asian looking almost light fixture. No matter what, that lady would not remove that artwork, that Batwoman in the dining room. Do you see that?
I was actually wondering about that.
Yeah. And this is in a dining room. And even though we said it's got to come down, they would not take it down. And so, you have to work around it, right? So we did our best. We made it a dining room. It looks spectacular, right? And this is the other side of that dining room. What else wouldn't she do? She would not take down those. Oh, I have a bunch of feedback from somebody.
Hi, it's me. I'm trying on my phone now. There I am. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, Sandra, I didn't mean to cut you off. You had asked me to introduce myself and it was on mute, so nobody heard me. But here I am on my phone. So hello. I know you were in the middle of talking about the big property, but let me just tell you who I am, and then we can get into the meat and potatoes. I'm Lynn Spaeth. I am from Newton originally. I raised my family in Lincoln. I was educated at Emerson College. So I am a true blue Bostonian. And I moved here 6 years ago to join Sandra. My company in Boston was a boutique staging company, and I specialized in occupied homes. So when I came down here, I knew that was going to look quite different, but I was ready for that. So I tell people that my last child was 1 year old when I did my first house. And I won't forget that first house. His name was Alan Rothschild, and he had 3 pianos in his living room because he was a piano tuner. So yesterday we celebrated her 22nd birthday. So that means I have been at this now 21 years. So we are very seasoned, Sandra and I, because we got in before most people knew what it was. The first company I worked for was called Zigzag. It was a home staging company in Boston. And then I opened my own transformations. So that's a little bit about me. And I'm glad I get to see you all. And where are you all from? Oh, I can't hear you. Okay, that's all right.
Lynn,
Maybe you're all.
Lynn, can you turn your phone the other way? When you're on Zoom, it's got to be sideways.
Oh, how's that? Ooh. Okay. All right, I'll just hold it. How's
You're
that?
good.
I can hold it. All righty. So go ahead. You can continue on now about the house and all the compromises we had to make.
Well, you gotta turn it the other way.
You just said go the other way. See what I deal with on a daily basis? How's
This is what I deal with. No, let's take that back. Look what I deal with on a daily basis.
We try to have fun. We do not take ourselves very seriously, but we take our work seriously. Okay. Is that good? Can you see me?
Lynn, turn it around, like there. Just keep it there.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So
anyway, so they had already introduced themselves. They're way into it, and I know that
Okay.
we don't have
All
so
right.
much time, Lynn. So while we want to get chatty watty with everybody, you can call them later if you would like. But I can tell you, I was in the middle of this.
and she's bossy too. Go ahead.
Before and after photo, and this was the same house with this woman, and she would not, guess what, take down those pink light fixtures. And
That's
we're
right.
like, we don't even own anything pink in our warehouse, because who does that, you know? And so you have to compromise and work with it. But we brought all the other furniture in, as you can see, to create a large space living room. And it's no longer, when you're going into luxury, about a sofa, rug, coffee table, 2 chairs, 2 lamps, the basic, right? You've got to bring in enough right size and scaled furniture, rugs, accessories, furniture, and everything else to do so. And all we did was just add some pink pillows to tie the room together, which that's a pretty big deal. This house we thought was going to sell, right, Lynn? And we were hoping and praying, because
Yes.
we invested a lot of money. There's the
A
thing.
lot of money.
It was probably $80,000 additional furniture we had to do this house.
Yeah.
And we were hoping, it's 22 million, it'll stay on the market for a really long time. So we'll make our money back and have a bunch of new inventory. And it sold within I think a week and a half to 2 weeks. The best part is that the people bought everything in the house. And so when you're selling the furniture, that's a risk that you've got to take when you're in luxury, always, because you either got to hope that they're going to buy it and you're marking that furniture up so you really profit, or that you've got some great inventory and you got to market yourself for the next house and hope that style furniture, when you're investing in that, will also work in the next house. Now, down here, when we're working with a lot of builders and we're doing the luxury homes, it's kind of like that white box, that white, modern, luxury, very, modern, contemporary home. So the furniture that we do invest in works in most of these properties. Every once in a while, like we just did one not too long ago that was, very traditional, and I got rid of all, right when we had a sale and got rid of most of our traditional furniture a few years ago, because it was out. So, and even though you're trying to take a transitional or, a traditional home and make it more transitional, more modern, some of it's too much. So, for example, like Lynn and I are going to market in 2 weeks with Blair and his team, and we go every year to High Point together, and going to the showrooms and buying wholesale and seeing what's on trend and on style and buying from those luxury manufacturers is really, really important. Because if you've got to buy things retail, luxury items retail, it can really cost you a lot of money, and you will never make that money back. You're taking that chance, that 50, well, it's 50-50. It's probably not, I'm not even saying it's that they're going to buy it. So it's a good thing, but then what's the bad thing? The bad thing is that you got to go out and buy more furniture again, which we like to do, but it takes a lot of work to pull a look together and to get it all to come in at the same time, so you can put a project together. So you've got to not only be ready to go, you've got to, so you have it in your inventory, otherwise you're running out. And believe me, we have had to do this several times. As a matter of fact, I want to show you ooh, I'm still sharing my screen. Hold on a second. A property that we recently did, give me a second, but for a builder, which is a $12 million home. Now, these are the realtor photos. I just thought we would show you real quick. Which, by the way, the photographer is not that good. Our pictures on our cell phone are probably nicer because, you know, they always take these pictures of a huge room. So if you guys take a look at this house, it's a $12.5 million home. And actually it just launched on the market, I would say about 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And they already got an offer on it. The buyer on that, they're supposed to be finding out today. We're going to have an answer, but they wanted to also buy everything in the house. They want to be able to move right in, and the amount of furniture that we have in there is like $240,000 worth of inventory. Do you even have that much in your inventory?
No. No.
So,
Yeah.
right? So I just want to show you some quick pictures, you know, of an entryway. And then I'm just going to go through it really quick so you can kind of just see the finishes in the house were, you know, incredible. I'm sure you guys even saw that the garage doors were glass, right?
So
but-
we're only seeing your PowerPoint.
What?
Yeah, we're only seeing your PowerPoint of that luxury home with the pink lighting.
Oh, how do I get rid of that now? Hold on a second.
You did explain that we're creative geniuses, not computer tech savvy people, right? Hey, where's Lou?
Lou is at grand jury duty until July.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not happy.
No, I'm sure he's not.
Hold on a
So
second.
I'm on my phone, so I'm not seeing the slides, but you're all not seeing them, or you are seeing
Not
them?
right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. There you go. Okay, great.
Just a minute. Sorry. So this house is one that we just did a couple weeks ago in Boca Raton, Florida, on the water. Which I was saying, look at the glass and wood garage doors. $12 million. I'm just going to quickly go through this so we can answer some of your questions, you know? But I just want to show you and give you a little background of what it entails. You've got to have the right size and scale of artwork to go in a home, right? You've got to have luxury high-end furniture.
I will also say that, you know, at the luxury market, it isn't strictly staging. I mean, you're creating a lifestyle in the property, and people need to come in and have an exceptional reaction. So if some of this seems more designed to you than staged, you're probably right. But that is the expectation in the luxury market.
I'll give an example. Even these counter stools, I specifically had bought counter stools from Uttermost that we thought would look amazing in this house. Now wholesale, those counter stools are $390 each wholesale. And we got them in there, they look beautiful, but they did not go well sitting next to these fabric chairs in this house. So you can see over to the left here, we've got this fabric in these arm accent chairs. It kind of goes with the fabric in these chairs, right? And then the fabric that was at this counter, it was too much fabric in a row. It's like it was being fabricked out. You understand? So we had to break up that look, and we ended up having to get leather bar stools that are never really easy to find. in stock that also had the same metal that would work with the dining chairs that were right next door to it. And buy those, but for another $400 each, and pick them up the same day. Right? Because just so you guys know, we staged this house really in a day, and we just had to go back the second day to really tidy things up and make sure everything was perfect for the photographer. That took a team of 10 people at full pay, but you have to remember it took a team of 3 or 4 people on the back end to select everything down to every single detail for the property.
And Sandra, do you want to just tell them the process? You and I went, looked at the property. You took photos, I took measurements, I took notes. Then we get back to the office and we go over that with our design team. And then they're the ones that,
So we put the quote together and we send it out, because we don't go over with anything until we get our quote back and we get money in the mail, right? Because why would we waste our time going over anything until that happened? I'm sure you all know that. And then we do get together with the design team and go over the photos and talk about it. And at the same time, when we went to the property, they were not finished with the construction yet. So even though, you know, Lynn and I may have had the vision for the house, the people who are actually doing the staging, because we don't stage, I'm very involved in the design process and approving everything that's going to go into a house, where they'll pick the accessories and art and, you know, and some of the artwork and stuff and set it up. But we do have them go back to the house. So there's another trip to the house, right? To make sure that they are getting it and to see it completely finished. Because you've got to play along with everything. And another thing too is the bedding that goes into a luxury property. It's got to be luxury bedding. You're not going to be really going to Home Goods and slapping that on there. It's got to be layers. Okay, so anyway, so there's a few of the rooms. So what happened here? We have so many homes at the same time that we could not get enough furniture that match to do. Hey, Blair, you got to go on mute. Anyway, so we didn't have enough furniture, luxury furniture for outdoor furniture. And of course, you've got to do outdoor furniture here in South Florida. So what I just showed you was the balcony, right? Here's another balcony off the master bedroom, or the primary bedroom, sorry. This primary bedroom had 2 seating areas inside, the little one outside. And I just want to get to the exterior and then we'll go on to the whatever questions you guys have. But I just wanted to show you some of our work and what we're playing with. That's just a his and her closet that they didn't finish. And quite frankly, I thought for $12 million something they should have finished it. So they asked us to just bring in some things in there, which to me, that's not really staging, but I guess that's what they wanted, right? And there's another guest bedroom. Yes, we do laundry rooms. And let me get to the outdoor. Hold on. Because you can see here, we did not do the entire house because it had a lot of bedrooms. So you see now, this is now the downstairs balcony or the downstairs patio. So you see, so what we had to do was we had to go and find somebody local in town that had luxury outdoor furniture to do not only a living room and a dining room and some chase loungers off to the side that you don't really see, but also that balcony, like back in the corner back there of chase loungers, but also on the balcony to do another living and dining room and another seating area. So we ended up, you know, having to spend wholesale, I think it was like $16,000 to just do this house. Now, what am I going to sell? What are we going to sell that outdoor furniture for? You know, 2 times 2.3, 2 times 3. So we'll make money on it. That's the risk that you've got to take. And that's also the risk of, whoops, I don't know where my mouse is right now because I'm on a little laptop and I can't really see. There we go. And by the way, that furniture, that price that I just gave you does not include the pillows, does not include the rug, does not include all the accessories that go on top of the table. That was just for the furniture. Do you see this picture, how much there is out there? So when you get that call, what are you going to do? You're going to say, let's do it. I want to do luxury. Or are you going to call somebody that can probably do it and partner with them? Or you got to start investing in the things to get into this ball game. If it's nice to say that you can do a luxury home, but at the end of the day, I kind of wish we didn't. I mean, I really do. I mean, I really just wish we did, you know, medium price homes that we can get in and out of. That, you know, we have to inventory a ton of stuff. Even in our area, we got to have furniture for all different lifestyles. We're in South Florida because you got Miami. That's all different buyers there. Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton, I mean, all the way up to Palm Beach. 3 different area codes and several zip codes that we do, and every single look is different, and the expectation of the buyer is different. You guys get that? Okay, so now I took it. Okay, are you there? So what do you think?
So I have a strange question. Maybe it's not strange. What types of payment do you accept?
As long as it goes into my bank, we just don't take Bitcoin, that's it.
But you'll take a credit card?
Yes.
Yeah, and we charge a processing fee, especially
Okay.
if it's a large amount.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
charge a 3.5% processing fee.
Okay,
Or-
that
or
was my concern. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
just, so we do credit cards, ACH transfer, cash, dinero always work pretty good, you know?
When
Yeah.
you sell the furniture, do you have a set markup that you typically charge, or does it vary?
So does anybody here use Sage for us?
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what was that?
Does anybody use an inventory control system, Sage Force or any other? Okay, so, you know, and again, because I was so concerned about Lynn trying to get on, I did not hear what all of you do. Because I was texting, you know what I mean? I was trying to get her on. So, you know, I'm gonna say for sure that if you're gonna start carrying any kind of inventory, I don't care if it's that plant from Home Goods to your vase, to your sofa, you need to have, first of all, having a spreadsheet, and you definitely want to get into an inventory system before you get so big. It took us probably 2.5, 3 years to tag everything, take photos of everything, and put in an inventory system. You do not want to go backwards. If you asked, one of the questions was, what would you have done differently? It doesn't matter if it's luxury or if you're going to grow your business. I would say that would be the very most important thing that you could do.
Sandra, she just asked, do we have a standard markup? And the answer is not really. I mean, we have what we believe to be.
So yeah, so the inventory system, sorry, I went off on that. In the inventory system, when we put the price in, we mark it up. It does, well, it just depends on what the manufacturer wants us to mark it up to sell it at retail. And then on top of that retail price, we even also add another 20% replacement cost, because, you know, it takes a lot to buy.
Oh.
Have furniture come in, have it unpacked, put together, tagged, photographed, put away. So, and if they're either going to buy it or we don't really care if they buy it, they're gonna pay the premium price.
Okay, thank
So-
you. Oh,
So Sandra, you said a curious thing, which was you're in luxury, but now you're not sure that you really want to be in luxury. So can you walk us through a little bit about how the two of you kind of melded your businesses and made that transition from probably mid-tier to luxury, why you did it, kind of the pros and the cons, and just a little bit more perspective, if that's okay.
Well, let me first say that Sandra's name of her company before I came was Home Staging Concepts, and she was doing luxury. And I said to her, your name does not reflect what you do. You're so much better than Home Staging Concepts. So we decided to rebrand. And
This is not anything that I would suggest anybody does, by the way.
so what she's saying is, by the fact that we have luxury in our name, many people believe we don't do other things, but we do. And we enjoy those quick hits, those, 3 2s, you get in and out in a day and you're still feeling fine at the end of the day. These larger houses just require so much more. So Sandra was already doing luxury when I came down. And I will say, since I came down, we've gotten more expensive homes. I think the $22 million home is probably the most expensive we've done. But there have been others for sure. Go ahead, Sandra. I know you want to jump in.
So Cheryl, sometimes you get to that point where when you get asked a question and in the days I could always multitask. I think you said the question was why? Because I can't remember it now. So can you just ask again, what would I have done differently, or why did we get into luxury? Look, when you do excellent work, I would say that your name gets out there, people see what you do, and the phone just starts ringing. We really don't even do a ton of marketing. Our work is our marketing. We leave our business cards in homes, and your name just gets around the office. So it just happens, and like many other people who have grown, you just say, yes, we can do it. Even if you can't do it, you find a way. And the only downside to that, like Lynn said, changing the name and stuff, is that we lost a lot of clients because they thought we only did luxury, right? So, or they thought we became too expensive. And we really were, I would say, one of the higher priced, besides Meredith Bear and all of the furniture stores here in town that also do staging now. We're probably one of the higher price home staging companies. But these days, lately, there's a lot of other people who really copy our work down to details. You'll see that I will post photos every once in a while, but I don't post a lot because and I don't really call them competition, I call them copycats. Like they literally set up their homes the same exact way. We see when they're taking photos, because all the work was always in our details of what we do, that you can see props and setups the exact same way. So they're doing this work now, but for a lot less money. And we lose a lot of business now because we know that you cannot go for that much less. We've also, in another way, a lot of the stages have always included 60 days in their rentals. And for all I would say 18 years, I've always just did month to month, 30-day rentals. That's how we made money. If it went into the next month, that's how we make money. Now we have to include 60 days. So think about that. Our revenue is pretty much cut in half just to get the business. You guys understand?
Yeah.
Your revenue is cut in half because they're saying, well, you know, we've got a quote from so-and-so and they're giving 60 days. So if you don't do it, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, it's a brand new person and you know they're really going to work with you and they're not out shopping because that realtor is saying, you got to hire Luxe Home Staging or we're not doing it, right? Otherwise, there's no sense to do it. So that is something that we, you know, are definitely dealing with right now. I don't know about you guys, what's happening in your area, but it doesn't matter even if it's luxury or not luxury, it's reality. So you got to pay more for, like we're talking luxury, you got to pay more for luxury furniture. You can't just be shopping at Target and Home Goods for accessories at all and thinking that's going to look good. I mean, oh, look, we all have a little bit of high and low and we can make things look great all the time, but you got to have the right things to go on those properties. So it costs you more and then we get to charge less.
And you know, when you're doing luxury properties and you're with a realtor or you're with the seller, they're going to throw out all sorts of names at you of high-end brands. You need to know who they are because at a minimum, you need to be able to speak their language. And some people are very name conscious, right, Sandra? Very, you know, so who do you use? What furniture companies do you use? They want to know that. And although it doesn't matter to Sandra and I, we know what is expected in terms of the quality that we bring in. But when you're in that realm, they do have an expectation that you're going to be dealing in the high end.
Right. As a matter of fact, I went to a VIP broker open at that last house I just showed you because I never met the realtor. The realtor actually had her own staging company. The builder said, oh no, we're using Luxe because we have done so many of his construction homes for the last 5 to 6 years. As a matter of fact, they've always been price range in the $3 to $6 million. And this one was 12 million. And he even said to us, are you able to do this one? Do you have, I mean, you've always made our homes look beautiful. They've always sold for a lot of money, but do you have the right furniture to go in this one? And what did I say? Of course.
Of course we do.
Of course we do. And, you know, so, you know, because I'm not going to lose him as a client. He's been one of our, you know, he builds 2 to 3 homes a year, right? And he's the one who probably pays us the most money of all of our clients. So I'm not going to lose him. And we took a big risk and okay, I'm going to invest to do some of these things that we had to buy and hopefully it gets sold. But while I was at that VIP event, there's like the neighbors came and some of the high-end beauty realtors came there. And their brand name clothes. You know, the funny thing is I am just not that, I don't know any brand name, anything. I'm like the most simple person in the world. But they're like, oh, who's this outdoor furniture? I'm like, oh, Couture Jardin. Oh, I love Couture Jardin. As a matter of fact, I just bought that for our other home down this, you know, like they own multiple homes in multi-million dollars, right? Who's this table by? Oh, this is Universal. Who's like, I literally had to go through with a couple of these people and say what brand that furniture was. And how do you get to know those brands? You got to go to market. Even if you're not buying anything, you got to go to market. You need to see the showrooms. You need to, first of all, get inspired. You need to know what's on trend and what's on style, and you know, build relationships with these people and start buying that way. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you also want to, you know, save money and instead of buying retail at some of your stores? Did that answer your question, Cheryl?
Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you. Great perspective.
How many homes do you have staged at one time? You know, like, do you have multiple high-end luxury homes, or do you have, you know,
Yeah.
several
I would
average
say
homes?
I would say right now, well, in this month we had like, oh my God, 10 de-stagings. So we have a lot of furniture that came back, but it's funny because we were trying to prepare for another luxury home that we get staging tomorrow. And the girls are saying, but we don't have. I'm like, don't tell me that crap because we've got it. We're going to make something work. They always want new. But anyway, I would say that our average is about 25 to 30. Out of those 25 to 30, all of them, there may be one that's under $1 million. So to me, anything that's over $1 million is luxury.
Okay.
We're always, we always get the calls. Oh yeah, I want to get the living room and dining room and bedroom stage. I'm like, that's it. Like, in this price range home, you got to do the entryway. We just did a $3.9 million condo on Friday. And it was the first time that I said, I'm tired of like educating these realtors. If they want to end up paying us to just do a living room, dining room, and a master bedroom, well, then let's just do it.
So you argue the point? Like, will you tell them at this price point, you should really have the whole thing staged?
We
Well,
tell them,
and it doesn't need to be the whole thing, Lori. I feel like there's an entryway, in these kind of, there's an elevator entryway. There's a living room, dining room, kitchen, breakfast bar. There's the primary bedroom and suite. There's a beautiful balcony on the water. They didn't want to spend the money. We'll put it in the quote and we'll list the rooms that we feel are important to stage. And then they said, can you take off the balcony, and we don't need to do this room and this room and this room. Oh, okay. I'm tired of being, the one that we're educating them and saying, this is what we feel is important, but no, you want to do that? It was easy peasy for us to get in, except guess what? It was a condominium. We did the quote without going to the property, although I sent the girls to the property, the stagers, a couple days before. And even though we educated them, they didn't take the measurements of the elevator. And what happened when we got there is that the sofa would not fit in the elevator. Can you imagine 20 years in and we still got to have this conversation? With the team, it happens once, twice, 3 times. Okay. But that you got to measure the elevators. And so, anyway, we had to, go and get other ones. But if that's all they wanted to do, then that's all they wanted to do. It's okay. I'm not going to fight them anymore. I'd rather have a small project that we don't have to go crazy over. And who's the one going crazy? Because at the end of the day, it's, Lynn and I's thumbprint, our brand, our name that's on it, right? So, it's got to look right. So I don't like putting anything out there when it doesn't look right.
we won't put anything out there that doesn't look right. Like we won't leave a property until it is right. And sometimes we have to go back because something just doesn't feel right. And so, that is our brand. We expect excellence. So don't our realtors and investors. So we're really cognizant about the product that we put out. And one of the questions you all had was around marketing. We always leave our business cards in the properties, and we get tons of phone calls from those. I saw your work. I'd like you to come quote on another house. So that happens very often. The other thing that we do is we belong to an investors group down here in South Florida. We belong to the Women's Council of Realtors. And we also belong to something called the Real Producers. And it's a magazine for the top 500 realtors in South Florida. So they have events and we do show up at those. So people do know us. But mostly I would say we get a lot of business from people actually seeing the work and then calling because they liked what they saw. And oftentimes they may have already moved and they want their house finished. So they'll ask us to come do some design work, or somebody has moved into one of our staged homes. They bought everything, but not all the rooms were done. So they ask us to come back and complete it. So those are all scenarios where, the business cards and our work output markets for us. And, Sandra is very good about putting everything on social media. you know, we've just finished this house, get in touch with, and she'll put photos, and people get really excited about that. They love to see the work.
And when we're doing luxury homes too, you know, when those realtors who are doing these luxury homes, they always have VIP events. So why wouldn't you even let them know that, hey, we'll co-host that with you? Because who else is going to be there? All the other luxury realtors in town, right? All the players. So, you know, maybe we'll bring all the desserts or pay for, you know, a case of champagne or whatever. And we're there, so we get to meet all the other realtors that are at that event. But I would say a lot of our business too, really, a lot of it comes from Instagram. It's amazing to me. Yeah.
What percentage of your business is short-term rental, like Airbnb?
Okay, so that's a great question, Beth. And we love doing short-term rentals. And I would say that we really started getting into it about, well, when we all had to pivot, like around COVID, because the stagings weren't as much. And I would say we probably take on 1 to 2 projects a month right now. The reality, we're not renting that furniture to them, you know, that is being purchased. What we do like is that we can a lot of times sell them the furniture right from our inventory that we don't really want
Nice.
showing up in photos anymore, right? And also, you know, buying some things. Now, the thing is, when you're working with some of those people that are their first time STR owners, they have no clue what it costs to invest in the right. And so they'll always find, again, someone who will do it for less. And so I always say this, you know, our goal when we partner with you is to help you get the highest nightly rental rate, to get booked all the time, and to become a super host with the way that your home looks, with the amenities. And of course, your property manager that you hire is going to be really important, along with your cleaning crew. Because if even after we do it and that cleaning crew comes in and doesn't make it look like the same exact way as what we did in those photos to begin with, you know, you got to do it that way. We are not going to go shopping at IKEA. I mean, could we do it? But why would we do it? Because we're educating them. Every time we educate a client, they want to do business. We just did one the other day. We're like, it's a 6-bedroom, $4 million home. And they wanted to do the basics. I said it's going to be at least $75,000. And that doesn't include TVs. That doesn't include the kitchen. That doesn't include, you know, all the extra sheets and linens and towels. Because, you know, you got to get 3 sets for each head for the bed. And he just thought that was ridiculous. And I said, I don't know where else you think you can go for that amount of money and get someone who wants to pay what you're trying to get on a nightly rental without investing in the proper inventory. As a matter of fact, this whole last week, because it's driving me crazy because I don't know if we're charging enough or not, or even marketing or branding ourselves well enough that actually, I just finished the course. I think Linda we'll be doing it soon, to go through so we can rebrand ourselves in a way to get the expectations to the clients ahead of time so you don't spin yourself in circles. And we actually just took it's called the Design Experts.
Yeah, on short-term rental through Audra. What's the name of her company?
Oh, yeah, that's the one actually I'm taking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's a great program. Yeah.
I just signed up for it.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
Who did?
yeah,
Who did?
I did.
Yeah, and I'm taking it too. Yeah.
I figure I'm moving to Maine, why not do it?
Oh, good. Good for you.
I'm sorry,
What part-
because for some reason it's breaking up. So who said they're doing it?
I am, Lori
Lori
and Beth.
and Beth. Okay,
Excellent.
great. So have you started it yet?
I
No.
just started it recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just got into the beginning.
So, you know, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm glad that you tell me that you're taking the training. And I know you all think that, oh, well, you own a staging training company. Well, we might just be investors in that business, but does not mean at any time no matter how long you've been doing something, that you do not want to learn from others. You know, we think that we know everything there is to know. I've been to STR courses from a guy that teaches arbitrage to we speak on it in stages. Actually, Blair and I have talked on it before. And Lynn, we talk about when we go to, you know, to clients' properties and we read books on it. I'm on every Airbnb group you can imagine on social media because you can learn from them too. And I thought, you know, I'm going to invest the additional dollars just to see what she's doing and what she's teaching. And surprisingly enough, I learned something new. And actually, probably the biggest thing is like the marketing and how she does it. I learned quite a bit. So it's a
Yeah.
great course.
I'm gonna have to start it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, just,
I couldn't wait to finish it. I was up every night. I didn't care if a module was 2 to 3 hours. I'd be at the office till 10:30. I'm like, I got a book here. This book's full
yeah,
of notes.
Wow, okay.
cool.
Well, and I think my biggest takeaway so far, and I haven't, I'm obviously not as far along as Sandra, is that Audra suggests that you give them the information about pricing, you know, good, better, best, and let
Mhm.
them decide
What level?
where they want to be in that. And that's always been foreign to me because I don't know, I always feel funny about giving them that option. I always wanted to be the best I can do, but she sort of takes away all the mystery around it. And so that has been my biggest takeaway to date. I still have a lot more to do, but you know, we're always trying to learn more because the market is changing and it's evolving, and we need to keep changing and evolving with it.
Mhm.
So that's a good point, Sandra. We just got to continuously learn,
Yeah.
because you
All the
can't know
time.
it all. You
Yeah.
just
Right.
can't.
No.
And you know, and as far as that, your resources and where you get your furniture from, and even though she'll tell you some, I mean, she's not telling you everything. And again, I'm going to go back to, you know, you're in, whether you like it or not, you're in the furniture business. You are in the furniture business, and you need to know where to get your stuff from, how fast you can get it, and what it costs. Hands down.
Mhm.
So how often do you go to market? Do you just do High Point?
Oh,
Well, we go to, well, we haven't been to, since COVID,
Yeah.
we haven't been to Vegas. We used to love to go to Vegas, well, for a couple of reasons. You know, because you get to have good food and shows and see everybody, and it's in 3 buildings. It's very easy to do. And even though there's companies there that have some furniture and accessories and things like that, a lot of them are also from the West Coast. So we're on the East Coast. So for shipping purposes, you will soon learn, if you're not buying wholesale, forget what level you get to buy at, which is most important to get stock dealer pricing, but it's how much it's going to cost to ship it. Because if you're going to buy something and it's going to cost you a fortune to ship it from California, and they're not capping that shipping rate, you forget it. But so, however,
so with that
The-
said, there's a lot of companies that keep a warehouse on the East Coast. So we tend to do more business with them than the ones in California because of the shipping costs. Go ahead,
That makes
Sandra.
sense.
Yeah.
So, but however, High Point is the furniture capital of the world. The whole world that does any kind of anything that has to do with furniture, rugs, art, and accessories is at High Point. And we go twice a year. And even though we go for sometimes 5 to 6, 7 days, you still can't even see everything. There's no way. It's the whole city.
And as long as you have a resale certificate, you can register for High Point or any of the furniture markets, and it doesn't cost you anything to attend. Yes, you need to get there and you need to sleep, but just know that you know, anybody that's in the business and has a legitimate company can go and register and go and see all of it.
And I know you all are RACA members, and I know that they have partnerships with some of the companies, but that's just some of the companies, right? So you got to go find the rest on your own. And I think that they do tours. I think Todd and Michelle, has anyone ever signed up for one of their tours before? Michelle Minch, Todd,
Yeah.
you all know him, you all know them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Blair and I and Lynn, actually, we've even have done tours before, and taken people around, and we thought about possibly even doing that again. There's a lot of different groups there that do the tours. If you haven't been to High Point, it can be very scary because you're like, where do you start? Has
Yeah,
anybody
Oh,
has
sorry.
anybody
It's intimidating. You really do need to go with somebody that can guide you and help you through. And if, in fact, Blair will often say, hey, we use this company, you guys should come check them out. So, there's been a lot of that. Blair's been going for years.
So all three of us could bring people if we want, you guys.
Yeah, when do you offer it, or how do you, I guess,
So we go-
advertise
so
that
we-
you're doing a tour?
So we go twice a year. So it's in April and it's in October, and it's sort of around the third weekend or the third week. And between Lynn and Sandra and myself and my team, usually there's about 6 of us total that goes. So what I would say is, Sandra or Lynn, if they have your emails, you could just, or my email, blair@sayingthespace.com. If anybody wants to just get in touch with us by email, we can kind of have that type of a conversation of how we could help.
Oh, great. Yeah, I definitely would like to do it in October. That would be great. I unfortunately have to leave, but thank you so much for your time. This has been fantastic.
Absolutely.
And is it possible to get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation that I think started?
Well, we can send you a couple of the slides. You saw that I went through, you're talking about to present to realtors.
And, actually, you know what I'll do is I'll reach out to you later, tomorrow or in the week, and just catch up there. But thanks,
Okay.
this was fantastic. It was great meeting everybody, and look forward to seeing you guys again next time.
Okay, you got it,
Take care,
Beth.
Beth.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a great
Bye.
day. Have a good
Bye.
week.
Lori, did you have any other question, like what other questions you had, or anybody else have any questions? Because, we could talk about this for hours.
I've got just a couple of quick questions. I've got 2 actually. On a general basis, who pays for the staging? Would it be the realtor, the homeowner, the builder, or is it just across the board?
That's a great question. Most of the time, the sellers pay for the staging. Because we work with a lot of builders, the builders paying. If they're kind of jerky kind of people, they're always going to try to make the realtor pay for it or pay half. There are realtors that do pay for a portion of it. But I would say 9 times out of 10, that seller's paying.
Okay. And then my second question is, on a mid-luxury home, what is it from start to finish? Like start your, when you go visit the property to have it staged, how long does it take? Because I feel like we're getting asked week of sometimes here. We're in a different
You're getting
market.
what? I'm sorry, you're getting what?
We're getting asked how
week
soon
of.
can you stage it? Like, can you stage it this week?
Well,
Right.
listen,
I
you know,
got that yesterday. They called, can you do the consult today and stage it this week? Give me a break.
I
so,
think they
you know,
need to be educated, right? I mean, we know that realtors are always in a hurry to get it on, but you only have one chance to make a good first impression. So when those conversations come up, you can say to them, well, I'm 6 to 8 days out, or whatever it is you need to say. But it also depends, do you have the inventory? So there's all those factors involved. If you have a warehouse full of good stuff and it's just sitting there and you can make it happen quick, terrific. But it's also important to let your realtors know what is, what is appropriate in terms of timing. Now, Blair, I know he does things really fast. Sometimes for us, we need 5 days. We need 5 days because of the schedule. We've got a lot
Like
going
last-
on.
Right,
think-
like last month, we probably, even though the people signed with us, and they wanted us to do the work, because we couldn't get to them for 10 to 13 days, they went with someone else.
So I think we're all in the same boat. I mean, oh,
Booked.
sorry.
Go ahead, Blair.
Sorry. So we're all in the same boat. So we get the same thing that's happening to you guys, and Lynn and Sandra getting the same thing, where we will get a phone call and now they're ready to have it staged. Well, we're a busy company just like the next. So just because we have, the available inventory doesn't mean that we can do it. Unfortunately, these people who are asking us to do this don't realize that we're not sitting at a phone waiting for those people to call and we're going to be
That's
the
right.
next day. So it is a common situation. I think as you grow your business and you understand that this is happening, if you have the inventory, like Lynn said, then try to make it happen. We try to do that, but there are times that we have to say, no, our trucks are already fully booked and we can take on nobody else. But what Sandra said is 100% true. It's quite scary because when we say no to them, they start to go through and just find any stager, and at that point, they're not looking for quality. They're just looking for either lower price or anybody who can do it right away. And the person who can do it right away isn't necessarily the right stager to be doing it.
Right. That's really true, Blair. And we go back and I go back and look at some of these properties and the staging, and it's not even close to what we would have made that home look like. It's just that they're in such a hurry to get it on the market.
They don't care.
To make the wrong decision. And it's so funny because even in our quoting system, I can see when people are looking at our quotes, and in the last, I would say a couple of weeks, I can see people looking back at our quotes of ones that went with somebody else to stay.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't say anything to them. I just kind of chuckle to myself and say, because they're in such a hurry. Like, for example, our team today, if you can imagine this, is going back to do a restage, and I charge the client $1,000. The stage would have been completely done except for the patio. I asked the builder, and when we're working with builders and investors, we tell them all the time, and I follow up a week in advance. Are you going to be on time? Is the house going to be done? Is it professionally cleaned? Are you ready to go? They said yes, yes, and yes, because the last thing that we want to happen is have contractors there working when we get there. So we get there, and they're trying to install windows in a $4 million home. And anyway, so he kicked people out, and I said, well, I don't know how they're going to install windows and put scaffolding up and put more drywall in. All of our furniture is like in here. And so I charged the guy, they're there today having to move the furniture back into its original location and then do the patio furniture. I said, but I have to send 4 people there. My girls can't lift this furniture on their own. So there's a truck, 2 guys, and the stagers to go restage all the things they have to move back around again, because they always want to get it on the market. You have to be in control. Let me tell you how we work. When they ask, I say 5 to 7 days out, business days, always. We're booked. Even if we're not, I'm not gonna let people know that we could do it tomorrow. I'm not doing it. It's too much pressure on the team. There's no way you can do a luxury home the very next day. There's no way. Well, not how we do them anyway. I mean, But otherwise, a normal process. Even if we go see the house or we don't, we send the quote, we get paid the money, we got to take the measurements of the home no matter what. We could probably do it within 2 to 3 days on a regular price. Just based on the schedule.
Now, do you have a slow period down there? Like New England, we're pretty much fairly dead November through January, February. There may be a staging here and there, but we definitely love spring.
I always told Lynn, can you imagine all those home sellers listening to those realtors and they came up with that bullshit that people don't sell their homes in the winter? Now, wouldn't that be the best time to put your home on the market? Because people are always looking for homes. There's just less competition, right? Like, who made that up? Who made that up? Change it, Lori. You
Yeah.
need to let realtors know it's all about education, right? Lynn, what do you say? What is your saying that you say, the only time that the seller will, stage
Oh.
or the realtor would do it is when you are
When you
educating them and exuding what?
confidence in the value that staging provides.
No matter
So
what time of the year it is.
it doesn't matter what time of the year it is. It matters
we're-
about the belief system about what the value can bring from staging.
So we're in New England, and I agree with what both of you are saying, because we're in New England and we're actually busy 12 months out of the year. And we have educated all of our realtors in the fact that why wouldn't you have something on the market? And one of the busiest months we have is December, and we find right before Christmas time, a lot of people are buying houses. So a lot of it just has to do with education. And that's what we've been doing over the many, many years that we've been in business.
Right. And now but like down here, I would say like July and August are, because most of the people who live here and the realtors included, because they've made so much money, is
They're
they
in
end up-
Nantucket or the
They're in-
Hamptons. So,
Yeah, they go to what Lynn said, yeah.
so. There was one other question you folks had that was sent to us by Cheryl and Lori, and it was something about I don't know if it's on this list, but something about, what are the challenges we face? What do we see happening in the industry? And what would we be open to sharing resolution and potential solutions? I wasn't really sure exactly what was being asked, but I will say one of the things we come across is virtual staging. And we know that virtual staging creates an artificial setting that really disappoints people when they walk through a home. So there's that. We also have the hobbyist stagers who will, I don't want to say undercut the pricing. Some of us have, $18,000 worth of rent to hold our stuff every month. So we run it as a business, and we can't just charge less because everybody else is charging less. And we know there's a lot of people out there that do that, but it doesn't help the industry. It in fact impacts us in a very negative way. So those folks also need to have a come to Jesus, because they aren't helping any of us when they're always finding out what you're charging, and then they undercut you so they can get the work. And we've had a plethora of people saturating this market down here in Florida. Now, the quality may not be the same, but when people are looking for the lowest price, we're never going to be that. But often, if we don't have a realtor who is loyal, and we have many of those, and investors and builders, if it's someone just kicking tires to get the best price, it just makes it very difficult for all of us. So Sandra, do you want to add anything to that?
So one of the biggest challenges is going to be employees all day long.
Yep.
You're going to grow a team and you want to grow the business. Again, if I could go back in time, I don't think I would make it to be that way. Finding the right people, finding everyone to work together as a team for the goal of what's going on is something almost every single day. I could write a book. Yep, I could write a book.
Are your team members, are they employees or are they contractors?
Most of them are employees, and don't forget, when they're employees, workman's comp is very expensive.
Yep.
You got to have the right insurances to do these projects, et cetera, et cetera. So they're mostly employees. We go through a payroll company, ADP, but I'm not like an HR specialist in any way. And there's just different issues that, are happening all the time. And, we got to ring it back in. So like yesterday, we were all set that, oh, this guy's going to get fired today. And I don't like firing people. I was sick to my stomach all weekend. I didn't even sleep Sunday nights, and, got to the office super early, and then I just said to Lynn, I can't do this right now. They got 5 kids, bottom line is he needs to be written up and he needs to be talked to. And, does he want to be here? We just always, and some of the people who are the troublemakers are the independent contractors that come in that think that they're going to tell us how to run our business. But that's my biggest challenge is that.
Yeah. Personalities and staff.
Yep.
Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, one of the things we always ask when we're interviewing is, do you have a problem taking direction from females?
Whoa.
Because, we're a female run company, and even our lead designers are female. So that's always, we're very clear up front that everybody's got to work together and take direction from one another. So
Well, first of all, Lynn always asks that question. I would never ask that question because I think that we could get in trouble for that, but she does ask that question.
yep, that's right. I do.
You're gonna know soon enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. That is true.
They're never going to answer it, even if what you want. They're always going to say what you want to hear anyway during an interview.
Yeah.
Right?
True
Yeah.
colors show.
True colors show, but body
When
language
people show
also.
you who they are, you got to believe them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we can answer?
You've covered a lot.
Yeah.
I'm
That
filling
is
up my
good.
notebook.
Good. But I'm glad we could do this for you.
Oh, I'm
Do
so grateful.
a lot of you that are in the chapter, do you work together and help each other out? How many people do you have in your chapter?
22, 21?
Wow.
Maybe a little bit
that's
more
pretty good.
now. Might be a little bit more now. But we're New England now. You used to have a New Hampshire chapter and a Mass chapter, and now we're New England. So we're a bit more, it's great in a lot of ways. And then when we're trying to get together in person, you can have a couple of issues.
Yeah.
So,
That happens for us here in South Florida.
Yeah.
Tonight we have an iHouse meeting. And instead of having it in different locations, we've actually nationwide, they're just having it in the same location every year. And we're doing it at Sherwin-Williams. And so, different speakers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
will take
we're
place
trying
there.
hard. It's challenging. Our next meeting is supposed to be in person, and we're like, okay, where do you go?
Where? Yeah.
So,
But why? Because I even feel that more people come and attend when they're on the Zoom, because like here in South Florida, it's season right now. You try getting 2 miles, it takes you 2 hours.
well, that's what we're running into today. This is our first week of like super, super nice weather. We're having the 70s and 80s this week, and everybody's busy. Everybody's out the door, So
Yeah.
no matter what, it's going to be a challenge.
We have
Yeah.
we have our meeting tonight at Sherwin-Williams from 6:30 to 8:30.
Yeah.
And we're learning about culture and color. So I'm pretty excited about that topic. Sounds
Yeah.
pretty interesting. So.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
I think we're good. I mean, I thank you
good.
both so much. And Blair, thanks for joining in, and thanks for adding to the meeting with us. That's
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Absolutely.
So,
All right. You all take care and holler if you need anything.
Take care.
Do
Thank
you
you.
have any
Thank you so
questions at
much.
all? If you
Okay.
have any questions at all, or anybody, you can just reach out to us or email us. We'll be happy to answer any questions for you.
Thank you, Sandra.
All right.
Take